Boys, we got a big stimulus talk today. There is a huge stimulus bill being talked about. Not a bill, but a proposal being talked about. And it is next level amount of money to give to every single person is going to be ridiculous. And that's what we're going to cover right here, guys. What's going on, guys? Welcome back. And today is that stimulus talk, and it is a big one. Maybe not have seen it too much because it's super small. It's like in the very beginning stages of even being a thought. But it is a stimulus check that would be a $5,000 check to every American. And that is obviously a ton of money. And it's pretty simple the way that they're thinking about going about doing it. And that is basically going to be taking and borrowing from your Social Security, and you would get it now, and then it would be something you pay back by getting Social Security later than what you should have or were going to get it at. I think there's somewhere around like $34 trillion worth of funding in the Social Security program right now, so that would be obviously taken and give everybody $5,000 right now. I mean, pretty much dwarfing the last stimulus check, and obviously it does come with a cost. This time being you don't get to collect Social Security until later in life instead of whenever you would have collected it. So you kind of repay this back where if you would have collected Social Security at earlier point, you're going to push it back until your $5,000 is paid back and then start collecting your Social Security, which brings up a lot of like red flags and talks of people talking about that's not how Social Security is supposed to be. It's supposed to be like a security net for a basic income once you retire after you've worked your entire life, which I guess completely makes sense. That is the point of Social Security, is have that basic income once you're retired, so that you don't have to continue working and can just kind of relax after 40 years of working and building that up. But you just right now there's a lot of talk about this bill, and I think that there's no shot of it happening, even though there might be a little bit of talk and buzz, and it's $5,000 is a huge amount, but it's probably like 99% never going to happen, and here's why. So the Trump administration and the White House have already commented on this, talking about how it's was one of the running points of Trump is to not mess with people's Social Security and Medicare, and to stand by that and defend that and make sure that people have those funds. So taking and borrowing from it and reducing those funds there is kind of a risky move in that terms of him keeping his promise of keeping that fund there and keeping those funds alive for the people who need it right now. And I think that's why they've both already come out. The White House has already come out and said that there's a 0% chance of this happening, and that we'll never borrow against that, because that puts it in risk of obviously the people who are using it for its intended purpose right now. And so, although it's a lot of money, and a lot of people who are, in their 20s and stuff probably see this as Social Security, like, who cares? Give me my money now. I don't care about money in the future. But, you will. And if that's the difference between you having to work another few months to recoup that, or to start your, retirement in basic income from that, then that's when it starts to get into your thoughts, is when you're at that point. And none of us there yet, so we can't really tell. But with stimulus talk, there is a huge chance that there's another stimulus deal, package, or check coming within probably a few weeks. We don't know the exact way of the check that's going to be there, or package, or like tax breaks, how it's going to break down. We have no idea what it's going to be or what it looks like, because there's no real bill proposal yet. But there is definitely 99% chance that there is going to be another stimulus bill or a CARES Act 2. I think there is a CARES Act 2 in progress right now, being debated. But I'd have to look more into that and see more about what that bill is. But there's definitely, the Federal Reserve's come out and said that we need more stimulus, and we need more checks to the people to get people money, and that the person that controls the printing of money, even though there's no printing going on, but the creation of money is saying that he basically has an unlimited credit card and will do whatever it takes to fund the people and fund the economy and keep it going. And then he expressed that concern to Congress, telling them to kind of hurry up with legislation on getting stimulus to people or a package out or something to help the economy. So that's where we're at right now. There's talk of like negative interest rates as well being happening, which would be really weird to think about, because negative interest rates sound like weird, and it's a weird concept because it would mean like the banks pay you to take out a loan, but it would probably be for a certain amount of people, and those loans, like take a real estate, a house for example. If the loans are negative rates, the price of the house, let's say you have a $150,000 house, the price could go to $200,000, for nothing, just because there's negative rates. And then in a couple of years, if things fix and the rates go back to normal, and you bought a house for $200,000 because it was a rate that they paid you to take it, but when you want to sell your house 2 years, 3 years later, 5 years later, it's only worth $170,000 because it's come back to reality, then that $30,000 difference you're still stuck with. You still have to pay that, and you don't usually see that with like real estate. You don't usually see like a carryover. That can be like car loans and stuff. You see that a lot. But in real estate, you really don't see carryover of a loan. And if you purchase an asset like a house at this high, like low interest rate, negative interest rates, but it'd be a high worth because it'd be inflated. And then when it comes back, you're going to be stuck footing the bill because the property is just not worth what you paid for it, even though it was a good loan to take out and at the time. And also, negative rates would have a big impact on the stock market because it would make debt insanely cheap for companies, big companies, to go out and just take out a big loan of millions of dollars or something, and go and buy back their stocks. So they would buy back a bunch of stocks, making it less stocks in circulation, and kind of artificially bringing their stock price up, and that would cause a big boost in the stock market. There'd be a bunch of companies doing that, taking advantage of like the cheap debt and just buying back their stocks, reducing the amount there. And then, we don't even know how much this could push stock prices up with like a big mass, like easy debt, like really, really cheap debt, or debt that they pay you to take to raise your stock prices. It would make the stock market go crazy and actually kind of boom. There's a lot of people talking about stock market booming because of this. And I wouldn't complain because I got stocks, and if they go up in value, I'm loving that. But the debt bubble, like talk from professionals and stuff, and people who've been in hedge fund management and like top of hedge funds, the way they talk about the debt bubble and the debt like crisis with companies and stuff, is not, super fun to hear. It definitely sounds like it could be a big problem. So the debt long term could turn out being a way bigger problem than obviously short term, pushing up the stock prices shortly. But guys, that's going to do it for this video. We had a little bit of a stock market talk with negative interest rates, the thoughts on loans, and this $5,000 stimulus check that there's some people talking about. And it'll probably never happen, but would be, I wouldn't complain getting $5,000, taken, loaned against Social Security. To me, that doesn't really matter to me, but it matters to people using it right now. And there's talks about, I remember talks about not even being able to have Social Security, people always saying that, my generation not going to even have Social Security when they retire. It's not even be available. So, who knows? That is where we're at here. Definitely a stimulus. I think CARES Act 2, I think is in the talks. If not, if that was just like a rumor I heard, then there's definitely another stimulus package or check coming within the weeks. as soon as like Congress and the Senate can agree on something and pass a bill, there'll probably be more stimulus. So, guys, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe. You're on the path to 1,000 subscribers, and I'll see you guys in my next video.